Hi everyone. So today we will be exploring the multiple dimensions of the story The Star, which is written by Arthur C Clarke. So it is a fascinating short story that blends science fiction, religion and philosophy. Throughout the story, we will be analyzing the themes of faith versus science, the universe randomness, and the moral dilemma. So, without any delay, let's move on to the story. Before diving into the story, let's learn a bit about the author. It's essential. Arthur C Clarke. So, he was a British science fiction writer, futurist, and inventor. His most famous work is 2001 A Space Odyssey, which was later adapted into film by Stanley Kubrick. Clarke's stories often explore advanced technology, human destiny, and philosophical questions about the universe. So, The Star is one such thought provoking piece. Introduction to the story. So, the story is narrated from the perspective of a Jesuit priest who is also an astrophysicist. So, this is an interesting combination, right? A priest and an astrophysicist, a combination of religion and science. So, he is a part of a space mission that explores the remains of a supernova in the Phoenix Nebula. So, you might be having the doubt what a supernova is. A supernova is a powerful and luminous explosion of a star, and that occurs during the last evolutionary stages of a massive star. Okay, so supernovas are largest explosions that take place in space in the last evolutionary stages of star. That's what you have to keep in mind. So here he is a part of a space team, and they are going on to study about the remains of a supernova in the Phoenix Nebula. So, while analyzing the nebula, the team makes a shocking discovery: the remains of a lost civilization. This story raises deep philosophical and religious questions through this. The protagonist's faith is put to the test as he confronts a cosmic tragedy. So, that's what we are gonna study in this chapter. The story takes place in a deep space far from Earth. The crew of the spaceship is investigating the Phoenix Nebula, which is the remnant of a supernova explosion. Okay, so after the supernova, there are so many remnants, and one among them is Phoenix Nebula. Among the wreckage, they find a planet that has survived the explosion, and on this planet, they discover a vault that is containing the records of a civilization that once lived there. So, when it comes to the detailed plot summary, actually the story follows this sequence of events. So, first of all, we have a Jesuit priest, and he is eager to see the God's handiwork in the stars, but he does not expect a moral dilemma. So the team finds a planet orbiting the dead star, a rare occurrence. Okay, and on the planet they uncover a vault, a carefully preserved record of a civilization that perished in the supernova. And through the visual recordings, they learn about this highly advanced, peaceful alien society that knew of their impending doom. So they opened the vault, and by opening the vault, they understand that there lived so many alien species who were very much advanced and peaceful, and they were aware of the impending doom, that is, the supernova is gonna happen. So the aliens had no means of escape. So what did they do? They built a vault to preserve their history and culture. The priest is deeply moved by their tragedy and starts to question his faith. Now, when the priest studies the timing of supernova, and he makes a disturbing discovery. The light from the supernova reached Earth around 2000 years ago. Okay, the supernova happened so many years before, and its light reached Earth around 2000 years before. This means that the bright star seen in the skies of Bethlehem, which led the three wise men to the Jesus birth, was the supernova. So the Jesuit priest is trying to connect the supernova explosion with the birth of Jesus Christ. In other words, in an entire alien civilization was sacrificed so that a religious event could happen on earth. So he's thinking about it. What had happened? A supernova happened and an entire civilization has been deteriorated. And an entire alien civilization was sacrificed only because this religious event could happen on earth. So the priest who once had unwavering faith is now devastated in doubt. So the priest is very much devastated and he is so much confused between what to choose. Like, he is a priest and he has so much faith in the religion, but when it comes to science, he is experiencing it firsthand, and he understands that how devastating it is, because an entire alien civilization was sacrificed so that so that a religious event could just happen on earth. Now let's discuss the key themes in the star. First of all, faith versus science. Can scientific discoveries undermine religious beliefs? Like, what do you think? Do you think scientific discoveries can challenge religious beliefs? And the indifference of the universe. The universe is vast. It's vast. And it does not operate based on human morality. Like, the universe doesn't come under our control. The human cannot control the universe. It is vast. It is infinite. And again, the tragedy of extinction. So there was the destruction of the alien race fair. So that was a question. That was a question that is concerning the entire process of the story. Ultimately, the narrator of the story, the protagonist of the story, who is a Jesuit priest and also an astrophysicist, is concerned about the destruction of an alien race for having a religious ceremony to happen on the earth. So he is very much confused. And the last one is moral dilemma. Can faith survive when faced with cruel cosmic truths? So this story suggests that the universe is unfair. Does this story suggest so? Or does it simply show that the faith is complicated? What is the meaning, or what is the concern, or what is the ultimate moral you get from the story that you have to understand, that you have to discuss on yourself? When it comes to the Jesuit priest crisis on faith, actually the priest begins the story as a strong believer in divine justice. He is a priest and he believes in the divine justice. But by the end of the story, he struggles to reconcile his faith with the destruction of an entire civilization. So he wonders why God allowed this tragedy. He experiences inner turmoil and he is questioning whether the universe has a plan. Ultimately, his faith is shaken and he is left with doubt. What do you think? Do you think the priest will ever regain his faith? Or would you still believe in divine justice if you were in his place? So, when it comes to the symbolism, this story is rich with symbolism. Here we are just gonna look at the three symbols. The first of all, the star. So star is a sign of divine guidance, but it is also a symbol of destruction. And the vault. The vault represents humanity's desire for remembrance. or any other species desire to for remembrance. Even if our entire species go extinct, if someone comes later, if someone finds out our world later, they will remember us. They will understand our culture, they will understand what type of people lived here. And then comes the Jesuits dilemma. So it is a conflict between faith and truth. It is actually between religion versus science, and it is, we can also say that it is between faith and truth. Like, the story is timeless actually. Does knowing the truth always bring peace, or can it sometimes bring pain? It's up to you. Now we have a few questions here to discuss. So, do you think, like, does the story suggest that faith and science are incompatible? Or was the destruction of the alien civilization a cruel act or part of a divine plan? Do you think the divine justice is here? Or are you gonna question these processes? How does this story challenge the idea of a just and merciful God? And what are the emotions does the ending evoke? When you come to the ending of the story, what are the emotions that evoke in your mind? So, to conclude, The Star is a powerful, thought-provoking story that challenges how we think about faith, science, and morality. It forces us to ask, is this universe random, or is there any higher purpose? Can faith survive harsh truth? What happens when science uncovers something that shakes our beliefs? Okay? So, I hope the chapter is clear. This is the ultimate outline of the chapter, and thank you for listening. Thank you.